these young people, I thought they are active in informing us, sharing a cultural experience and an artistic experience. And then I thought about how the indigenous peoples in Canada talk about the drum as the heartbeat. And in Japanese taiko drumming, it's about a heartbeat. So drums are pretty cool, people. Thank you, young people, for that moment of excitement and pleasure. I established myself as Jean Trickey as an environmentalist. And I have been arrested for protesting clear cutting of old growth trees more than once. And I have protested a lot of stuff.
We have choices every day. And I can tell you, climate change, I've gone to see Greta. She was in Vancouver, I watched her. I've been at an event with Malala. I've interacted, tonight I'm going to be interacting with young people who are making change in different ways. So we have so many opportunities to make social change happen. And it's a lot easier than we think.
Does anybody know who Malala is? I know you do. Turns out we had the same experience because the Taliban didn't want her to go to school. Well, guess what? The Arkansas government didn't want me to go to school. The only thing that didn't happen was she got shot. And after I got expelled from Central, and the girls' vice principal told me much later, Minnijean, they were going to kill you. Well, thank you for telling me much later, and I'm feeling guilty because I got expelled.
In my opinion, one of the major problems that we have in our society is those of us who stand by and say nothing. I know mob violence personally, that I think that mobs are mindless people who've given over their power to some other demagogue.
Madness spreads everywhere easily, unlike nonviolence. I teach nonviolence to young people. And the first principle of nonviolence is a way of life for courageous people. Well, I can tell you, you really have to be courageous to be talking about nonviolence in a very violent world. But I do it anyway, just as I've done a lot of things anyway. The other thing I'd like to say is, Little Rock desegregation crisis was 65 years ago. And people would say, well, what does that have to do with now? But when I wake up every morning, I'm not sure if I'm there or here, because I see things that disturb me greatly. Outlawing books, talking about terms that are detrimental to other people.
So we run into opposition in our lives for so many different reasons. But my thought is, remember that we should be proud and have a strong sense of ourselves. And if people can't see that, that's their problem.
We always say, oh, in South Africa they do this, in this place they do that, in the United States they do that. And so that way we never look at our own things. And we have a long way to go in Canada as well. There's always plenty to do. There is never a moment that we would say, what can I do now? Just look around. Just look around.